gone.
This, to be honest with you guys, is a really painful video to make.
It's going to take a long time for me to get over this.
The best player to ever play for Chelsea Football Club sacked.
It's tearing me apart right now.
I feel like I've lost connection with my club.
I was actually on the brink of tears when I saw the news on Sky Sport.
Oh, I'm almost going to cry.
This is a hateful club.
Oh, it's so hard.
Why doesn't this club have any feelings?
Losing someone like this, it's really tough.
I don't know what to say anymore.
Hello, welcome to HITC Sport. And right, we now live in a world where Chelsea are European champions. The last time this happened, it was in 2012, and not only was that supposed to be the year the Mayans predicted that the Earth's planet would melt like a plastic pumpkin, it was arguably one of the worst years to ever exist. You weren't safe. Go down the cinema, and you'd have to wade through a sea of middle-aged divorcees queuing up to watch 50 Shades of Menopause or Magic Mike. Both films would make you want to shove popcorn so far up your nose that it actually burst your brain. That year, we couldn't go 7 consecutive minutes without Channing Tatum gyrating in your face. What else? Turn on the radio. And if Gangnam Style didn't make your ears bleed, then Call Me Maybe would strip the outer coating of your brain. So to top it all off, seeing Chelsea fans at the top of the European summit, for me, I don't have any vendetta against Chelsea, so I didn't really care. But I know what the rest of the footballing world is like, and most of you would sooner chew off your own eyelashes than ever acknowledge that trophy win. But now, here we are in 2021 and it's happened again. Chelsea are champions of Europe. How many of you now feel like puking blood into a bucket? Before we take a look at the game though, a quick word on Frank Lampard. How do you think he's feeling right now? You probably think he spent last night dancing around his London flat, right? No, I'm pretty sure he was probably tempted to shove a tin of dog food down his throat. Yeah, he's a Chelsea fan, but I don't care. There's no way he wanted to see Thomas Tuchel, his successor, lift the European Cup just 15 weeks out from nicking his job, whilst he's now being offered the chance to manage West Brom. It's too soon. It's like seeing your ex-wife serve you divorce papers in January, only to get remarried on a Hawaiian island in May, while you're being offered middle-aged mail-order brides on Persian websites. Poor Lampard, but don't forget, in January, he had this group of Chelsea players 8th in the league, level on points with a Southampton team who annually let teams beat them 9-0 for years. Remember those Chelsea fans who treated his sacking as if it was a death in the family? As if they'd just seen their own granny get pushed in front of a moving train? By the way, guys, try to have many subscribers as soon as possible. If you want to help, then smash that big fat red button, and honestly, let's try and get to 500,000 before the summer's out. Let's go! Anyway, back into the video. Look at the whirlwind job Thomas Tuchel has done. I think now we can finally separate Lampard, the world-class midfielder who scored 25 goals every year, from Lampard, the championship-level coach. But Tuchel, I'm sorry, what a job this German man has done. Don't forget, when Chelsea were drawn against Atletico Madrid in the last 16 of the Champions League, you could almost hear the quake of fear in Lampard's voice.
It's the toughest draw we could have had. Please help.
Listen, I get it. A tactical novice who had just been chewed off the park tactically by a PE teacher in Mikel Arteta. So now coming up against Diego Simeone, it would have been a bit daunting. A bit like if Alison Gibb was tossed into a boxing ring with Canelo. Have fun picking chunks of cheekbone out of your nostrils for the next 6 months. But Tuchel, a former Champions League finalist himself, he comes in and they successfully navigate the way past Atletico Madrid, Porto, Real Madrid, and now fearlessly beats Man City for the 3rd time in a month. Listen, it wasn't the greatest Champions League final of all time. 3 shots on target, with the winning goal just being Kai Havertz capitalizing on Alexander Zinchenko, briefly tossing his brain and spatial awareness into the fattest fireplace he could find. I'm pretty sure in that instance, Pep Guardiola regretted not selling him to Wolves. But do you think Chelsea fans care? No. A team utterly eaten alive in the Champions League last season, and 2 seasons ago, they were given the indignity of having to claw their way past Malmo, Slavia Prague, and Eintracht Frankfurt into the goddamn Europa League, slapped with a transfer ban, seeing their only world-class superstar dragged out of the club, with Roman Abramovich apparently banned from the country, and forcing the club to rely on youth, giving the managerial reins to a coach from Derby County. You could have assumed this was the beginning of the end for Chelsea Football Club. Who in a cat's left nipple would have seen this coming? They haven't won the league in 4 goddamn years. But lads, the star of the show, Mason Mount. Now, most Chelsea fans, when they weren't allowed a star transfer in 2019, and instead saw Lampard drag some skinny kid in from a loan deal at Derby County, most Chelsea fans might have looked at him as if he was the next Josh McEachran. Honestly, seeing a £100 million superstar dragged away, and then to bring in this unfashionable child, it'd be like when Man United sold Ronaldo, only to replace him with a winger from Wigan. I'm pretty sure United fans spent the summer of 2009 trying to stick pencils in their knobs to dilute the pain. It'd be like a spoiled rich kid who usually gets a Lamborghini for Christmas, suddenly then to be told, no, you're only getting 3 slices of toast and a hug. That's gonna make them want to burn down the Christmas tree. but especially when Mount's first start coincided in a 4-0 loss at Old Trafford, with even Jose Mourinho criticising him on Sky Sports. I'm sure you Chelsea fans were all grimacing as if you'd just been given the opportunity to lick Boris Johnson's feet. Even last summer, remember those god-awful reports about him not being happy with the purchase of Kai Havertz, that apparently he felt threatened? I think we can now clarify that whoever wrote that article clearly got his journalism degree on the back of a Burger King menu.
Our story, Kai Havertz. Havertz is already searching for a house in London. Because of Havertz, his mate Timo Werner can imagine to play at the wings. Mason Mount is not happy that he is an expensive rival in his position.
Listen, if you're going to come out with a story like this, that honestly looks like a big bag of horse testicles, then why, for the love of God, would you tag Mason Mount in the post? What? Why would you tag Havertz? Do you want to make him feel unwelcome in a new country already? This guy, if you got a job opportunity at a new media company, in a new country, at the age of 21, would you suddenly want to be tagged in a post on social media where it says that your new colleague you haven't met yet apparently wants you to get hit by a taxi? Tagging both men, it's almost if you wanted Mount's dad to respond to this with 16 laughing faces. By the way, that is such a typical dad response. I mean, one emoji would have sufficed, not 20. Well, actually no, a typical response from my dad would be this. Just silence for 14 years. Anyway, do you reckon Mount is happy now, considering he's just assisted Havertz for the winning goal in a Champions League final? I mean, come on! But listen, let's talk about Man City and Pep Guardiola. A world-class coach, yes, one of the greatest of all time, if not the GOAT. But I'm sorry, these tactics, this is like if Tyson Fury decides to fight Deontay Wilder with one arm tied to his scrotum. It's not going to work. Look, a lot of people right now are ripping their ears off at the thought of Kevin De Bruyne playing as a false nine. But lads, let's not forget that when Pep put De Bruyne as a false nine in that 3-1 win at Stamford Bridge in January, it was hailed as a tactical masterstroke. But the real cardinal sin was in midfield. Why would you leave out both Fernandinho and Rodri? I know this, my pregnant cat knows this. So I'm pretty sure Pep knows this. Ilkay Gundogan is not a defensive midfielder anymore. Maybe the fact he scored 17 goals this season should serve as some sort of a clue. You're coming up against a midfield consisting of Jorginho and N'Golo Kante. But crucially, Mason Mount and a £75 million Kai Havertz, leaving your defensive midfielders stuck to the bench to play 4 attacking midfielders and 2 wingers. I'm not paid to make these decisions, and even I can tell that smacks of utter arrogance. Even the false nine. Listen, I know De Bruyne was playing the Firmino role, feeding the likes of Riyad Mahrez, Raheem starting to cut in from the wing and score. But is that really going to work against the back 5? Thiago Silva went off injured, and so on came Andreas Christensen, an error-prone Danish centre half who half the time looks like a badger caught in the headlights. Alongside him was Antonio Rudiger, a good defender, yes, but let's not forget, 2 years ago he was on the receiving end of a Sergio Aguero hat-trick in a 6-0 collapse at the Etihad. But yet this was one of the most comfortable and relaxing evenings of their lives. I get experimenting with tactics, move your team around, reshuffle the pack, shove in a few wildcards, but don't chuck in a calculated wild risk in a Champions League final, the greatest showpiece in club football. I'm sorry, but for the Wimbledon final, you wouldn't suddenly see Novak Djokovic suddenly try to serve with his left hand. You didn't see Lewis Hamilton enter a Formula 1 Grand Prix by sitting in the back seat. You never saw Tom Brady enter a Super Bowl by blinding himself with a fork in one eye. What is this tactical arrogance? I don't get it, and neither do City fans.
Bro, when you're the finals, you gotta win it, bro. Against these pagan teams, these guys couldn't beat Aston Villa, bro. Come on, man. Bro, this would have been it, bro. But I just knew that we had to do something today crazy out of the extraordinary to lose this game, bro.
Oh, this poor Man City fan. Clearly so traumatized by this horrible night for his club that he's only able to mumble the word bro after every sentence, like some sort of high-functioning vegetable. Now, clearly, this is an example of Chelsea single-handedly scrambling one man's brain into wet spaghetti. But listen, Man City fans right now, some are actively screaming for Pep Guardiola's head. I'm sorry, how spoiled can you be? You've just lifted your 5th Premier League title in 5 seasons. You've just reached a Champions League final. Are we forgetting? You're not Man United. This is Manchester City. You know, the club who used to give the Player of the Year award to Richard Dunn 5 years in a row. The club went to scrape their way for a playoff win with Gillingham in 1999. The club went 6 months without seeing their team score a goal at home in 2007. You have no divine right to lifting the European Cup. So everything that happens now is just a bonus. Yeah, the Gallagher brothers probably have a headache right now, after desperately praying they wouldn't run into each other leaving the ground in Porto. Lads, these guys, they're used to watching Paulo Wanchope at Main Road. The likes of Ben Thatcher assaulting footballers on the pitch, marquee signings that include DeMarcus Beasley. Let's not forget 15 years ago, Chelsea used to slap you about like a piñata, robbing you of Sean Wright Phillips in 2005. If you told a City fan that week, when crying into their porridge about losing Ian Wright's son, leaving them now forced to rely on the wing play of Kiki Musamba, if you told them that within 16 years they'd be competing against Chelsea in a Champions League final, they would yank your arm out of its socket. Don't forget where you've come from. And excuse me if my heart doesn't bleed for you after you failed to win a competition you've only been in for 10 goddamn years. Look at Chelsea. They lost to Manchester United and penalties in the Moscow raid in 2008. Was that game over for Roman Abramovich? Was the whole project now deemed a failure because they'd failed to win the Champions League within 5 years? No, it wasn't. They regrouped, won it 4 years later, and now 9 years after that have their second one, and are probably undoubtedly now the biggest club in London. Mission accomplished. Especially considering when Abramovich took over, it was the same time Arsenal were going an entire season unbeaten. Honestly, City, relax. To put your worries at ease, let me make a lifetime bet here. That's how convinced I am of this. If Man City don't win at least 3 Champions League titles by the time I'm 50 years of age, then honestly, I will go and relocate to Western Shanghai, agree to live out of a box and sell my body on the streets of Wuhan, whilst I eat a daily diet of cheese crackers, expired milk and dead rats I find on the street. I'll brush my teeth with Vaseline, I'll go down the local Chinese vets and marry a stray homeless cat, and we will raise together a family of mutant cat children. So relax, City, your Champions Leagues are coming. Do you want to go back to fighting relegation every year instead? Shall we bring back the perils of Bernardo Corradi, Joey Barton, and treating a young Michael Richards like the second coming of Christ? Yes, Pep messed this one up, but lads, you're in the right hands. You will be back, so please, just relax. If that's it, let me know, what do you think of the comment section below? What do you think? Did Man City absolutely blow this one? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe. As always, talk to you in a while. Guardiola is not a Champions League final bottle job. He's won every European final he's been in. So I think it's going to be a similar thing. I actually think City are going to control this game from start to finish. A routine 2-0 City win. And Raheem Sterling, after all the brain dead criticism he's got this season, he's actually going to score in the final. Just you wait and see. And lads, trust me, if City don't win this Champions League final, I'll eat a Freddo bar that's been dipped in a pint of fat. It actually doesn't fit. It's actually, okay. Oh, shit. Oh, I've lost it. I've actually, oh, shit. Oh, shit. Great. It's trapped forever. That's actually disgusting. That's actually disgusting.